Welcome dear friends to my video lecture on Unit 9 People, Development and the Environment. According to the new syllabus, we are going to discuss the topics. The following are the UGC NET syllabus topics for the people, development and the environment. Development and the environment, Millennium Development, Sustainable Development Goals, human and environment interaction, and anthropogenic activities, impacts on the environment, environmental issues, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, waste, climate change, socio-economic and political dimensions, impacts of pollutants on human health, natural and energy resources, solar, wind, soil, hydro, geothermal, biomass, nuclear, forest, etc. Then natural hazards and disasters, mitigation strategies, Environmental Protection Act, National Action Plan on Climate Change, international agreements, efforts. Now let us embark our journey on Unit 9. First, Millennium Development Goals and beyond. Millennium Development Goals. The relationship between development and the environment has become a crucial concern. While development aims to improve quality of life, it often impacts the environment negatively. The Millennium Development Goals, they are called MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, established in 2000, addressed global challenges like poverty, education, gender equality, and health while emphasizing environmental sustainability. Let us discuss on the Millennium Development Goals and the environmental considerations. The MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, included 8 interconnected goals. What are they? Eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV/AIDS, malaria and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability. Eighth one, develop a global partnership for development. So the MDGs are 8 in number, that we must understand. What are they? Of course, we have given it. Each goal had specific targets such as halving extreme poverty, I am making into 50%, such as halving extreme poverty, reducing child mortality by 2/3, and achieving universal primary education by 2015. Environmental sustainability, as outlined in Goal 7, sought to integrate sustainable development principles, reduce biodiversity loss, improve access to clean water, and enhance sanitation. Now, after this MDG era, there is a Sustainable Development Goal era. Post MDG era, they are called Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Building on MDG experience, that is Millennium Development Goal experiences, the United Nations introduced the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015. These goals address poverty, inequality, climate change and justice. Unlike MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, integrate environmental sustainability as a cross-cutting principle. For example, Goal 13 emphasizes urgent climate action. Sustainable development under the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, acknowledges that economic, social and environmental dimensions are interconnected. Achieving sustainable development involves strategies like transitioning to renewable energy, adopting resource-efficient practices, conserving biodiversity, and raising environmental awareness. By pursuing sustainable practices, nations can ensure equitable development while safeguarding the planet's resources for future generations. Some important questions we can discuss. What was the primary aim of Millennium Development Goals? That is to reduce poverty and improving human well-being. Reducing poverty up to 50% even. Reducing poverty and improving human well-being. The MDGs focused on addressing poverty, education, health and environmental sustainability globally. Which Millennium Development Goal targeted universal primary education, that is Millennium Development Goal 2. MDG 2 aimed to ensure all children completed primary schooling by 2015. Which MDG emphasized the environmental sustainability, that is MDG 7. So very much related to our topic, this people, environment, development. So MDG 7 is very important regarding Unit 9. Which MDG emphasized the environmental sustainability? MDG 7. MDG 7 focused on integrating sustainable development principles and improving access to clean water and sanitation. What organization adopted the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals? United Nations. The MDGs were endorsed by all UN member states in 2000. What was the target year for achieving the MDGs? That is 2015. By that time everything should be over. I mean all those 8 conditions should be fulfilled. The MDGs provide a 15-year framework to achieve their objectives. Which goal focused on combating diseases like HIV/AIDS? That is MDG 6. That is Millennium Development Goal 6. MDG 6 aimed to reduce the prevalence of HIV/AIDS, malaria and other diseases. Which MDG focused on gender equality? That is Millennium Development Goal, that is MDG 3. MDG 3 targeted the elimination of gender disparities in education and empowerment of women. What was the objective of MDG 1? That is eradicating extreme poverty and hunger. MDG 1 aimed to halve the proportion of people living on less than shilling 1.25 a day, $1.25 a day by 2015. Which MDG aimed to reduce child mortality? That is MDG 4. MDG 4 sought to reduce under 5 mortality rates by 2/3. Which MDG emphasized the global partnerships? That is MDG 8, Millennium Development Goal 8. MDG 8 aimed to foster international cooperation to support other development goals. Now let us discuss on post-MDG era and the birth of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, after 2015. What replaced the MDGs in 2015? That is Sustainable Development Goals. The SDGs expanded upon the MDGs, incorporating broader challenges like climate change and inequality. How do the SDGs differ from the MDGs? SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, integrate environmental sustainability as a core principle. Unlike MDGs, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, focus on balancing economic, social and environmental decisions, but the MDGs were not doing that. Which SDG emphasizes climate action? That is Goal 13. Goal 13 urges countries to take urgent steps to combat climate change. What is the key strategy for achieving sustainable development? That is transitioning to renewable energy. Renewable energy reduces dependence on fossil fuels, that is petrol, gas, diesel, etc., no? Which we take it from the deep ground, deep land. No? So they are all deep earth. They are called fossil fuels. So renewable energy reduces dependence on such fuels, fossil fuels, and mitigates, that is decreases environmental impacts, mitigates environmental impacts. Why is biodiversity conservation important in sustainable development? Biodiversity conservation, why is it important? Because it maintains ecological balance. Protecting biodiversity ensures the sustainability of ecosystems essential for human survival. Achieving sustainable development goals. The next topic we are going to talk about, achieving sustainable development goals. The concept of sustainable development revolves around meeting current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own sustainability. Without affecting the future generations, we must be able to use the resources now judiciously. No reckless use of anything. That is the idea here. We must keep something for the future generation. That is called a sustainability. It adopts a multi-dimensional approach, integrating economic, social, and environmental goals to create a balanced and sustainable future. The United Nations introduced the Sustainable Development Goals as a global framework to address challenges and guide efforts towards a sustainable progress. Now let us talk about development and the environment. As the global population grows, the need to incorporate environmental concerns into development strategies has become critical. Environmentally sustainable development acknowledges the finite nature of natural resources and emphasizes minimizing negative impacts to ensure well-being for future generations. Let us talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. In 2015, the United Nations launched the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, comprising 17 interconnected goals to address social, economic, and environmental issues for a better future. What are the key Sustainable Development Goals here? What do they include? SDGs, what do they include? No poverty, the first one. Eradication of poverty in all forms. That is what they said. SDG, the first number will be on poverty issue. There shouldn't be, there should be no poverty. Eradication of poverty in all forms. Second, zero hunger. No one should be hungry. Ending hunger and achieving food security. That's the second SDG goal. Then good health and well-being. That is the third SDG goal. Promoting health for all. Fourth one, quality education. Ensuring inclusive education. The fifth goal will be gender equality. Empowering women and girls. Sixth one, clean water and sanitation. Then sustainable water management. That is clean water and sanitation is the sixth goal. We need sustainable water management. The seventh goal will be affordable and clean energy. Access to renewable energy. Then eighth SDG will be decent work and economic growth. Promoting sustainable economic growth. The ninth SDG goal will be industry, innovation and infrastructure, building resilient infrastructure. The 10th SDG will be reduced inequalities, addressing disparities within and among nations. The 11th SDG will be sustainable cities and communities, creating resilient urban areas. The 12th SDG will be responsible consumption and production, sustainable consumption patterns. The 13th SDG will be climate actions, combating climate change. The 14th SDG will be life below water, protecting marine ecosystems. 15th SDG will be life on land, preserving biodiversity and natural habitats. 16th SDG will be peace, justice and strong institutions, promoting just and inclusive societies. The The 17th SDG will be partnerships for the goals, strengthening global partnerships. We have exhausted all the 17 sustainable development goals. We need to memorize all this. At least we must know which number is related to which idea we must be knowing, because questions are asked on this area like that. Each goal has specific targets and indicators for progress and requires collaborative efforts from governments, civil society and individuals. What is the role of SDGs in environmental preservation? That is what we are concerned about, because this unit is about environmental preservation, people, development and environment. Several SDGs are directly linked to environmental sustainability. For an example, Goal 7, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, advocating renewable energy use. Then Goal 13, that also is included in environmental awareness. Climate action, urging actions against climate change. Then Goal 14 and Goal 15, it is related to the idea of protecting marine and terrestrial ecosystems. Goal 6, ensuring water sustainability. Goal 12, encouraging responsible consumption and protection. These goals emphasize resource conservation, pollution control, and the integration of sustainability in economic and social policies. Now, let us ask some questions. Which SDG focuses on eradicating poverty? Among these, what do you judge? That is SDG 1. SDG 1, it aims to eliminate poverty in all forms by 2030. Now, what does SDG 5 emphasize among the four? That is gender equality. So, SDG 5 focuses on empowering women and ending discrimination. Which SDG advocates for sustainable energy? That is SDG 6, SDG 7. It promotes a clean and renewable energy access, SDG 7. Which SDG focuses on combating climate change? That is 13, SDG 13. It emphasizes urgent climate action. What does SDG 6 aim to achieve among the four? That is clean water and sanitation. That is, that is SDG 4. Which SDG promotes a responsible consumption? That is SDG 12. This SDG 12 encourages sustainable production and consumption patterns. What does SDG 8 focus on among the four? That is a decent to work. So SDG 8 focuses on decent to work. It promotes inclusive economic growth and employment. Which SDG addresses marine ecosystem protection among the four? That is SDG 14. SDG 14 emphasizes life below water. Which SDG promotes inclusive societies among the four? That is SDG 16. So SDG 16 aims for peace, justice and strong institutions. What is the purpose of SDG 17 out of these four? Which is the right one? That is partnerships for the goals. It focuses on global collaboration. Now, how many SDGs were adopted in 2015? Very famous question. It has been asked previously. You could see it's one of the previous year questions. That is 17 in number. The United Nations adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals in 2015. Which SDG targets reduced inequalities? That is SDG 10. It focuses on reducing disparities, especially gender disparity. Disparity between the rich and poor, all these things. SDG 10. Then, what organization promotes SDGs globally among these four? That is United Nations. United Nations only is the brain of this entire Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. by gathering all the nations together. They have done it. So the United Nations, the UN oversees SDG implementation, which SDG ensures quality education. Among the four, SDG 4, it ensures inclusive and equitable education. SDG 4 ensures inclusive and equitable education. What is the core aim of SDGs? That is eradicating poverty. Finally, the number one is most important among all the SDGs, eradicating poverty. The SDGs aim to reduce poverty while ensuring sustainability. Now let us discuss on another area called human and environment interaction, anthropogenic activities in human and environment interaction. The relationship between humans and the environment is one of interdependence and mutual influence. Anthropogenic activities refer to human-initiated actions and processes that significantly impact the environment. These activities have increased in scale with the population growth and technological advancements. Deforestation and land use changes. Deforestation is a major anthropogenic activity with far-reaching consequences. Humans clear forest for agriculture, urbanization, and industrial development, disrupting ecosystems, leading to biodiversity loss, carbon and water cycle disruption, and soil degradation. Trees play a vital role in carbon sequestration, பிரித்தெடுத்தல், and the removal accelerates increases greenhouse gas emissions, contributing to climate change. Sustainable practices such as reforestation and responsible land use are essential to mitigate these effects. Let us talk about industrialization and pollution, another anthropogenic activity. Industrialization drives economic growth but contributes to air and water pollution and soil degradation. Factories emit harmful substances like carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, causing climate change and health issues. Cleaner technologies, stricter regulations, and renewable energy adoption can mitigate industrial pollution. Mining and resource extraction is another anthropogenic activity. Mining activities disrupt ecosystems, pollute natural resources, and often involve deforestation. Responsible extraction, waste management, and reclamation are necessary to reduce mining's environmental impact. Reclamation means, you clean the land, reclamation, make it original land. In other words, in its chaste form, reclamation. Otherwise, it is polluted with so many chemical things and all. So that is called a reclamation. So responsible extraction, waste management, reclamation are necessary to reduce mining's environmental impact. Sustainable mining techniques and recycling are critical for long-term resource management. Let us discuss on the urbanization and habitat destruction. That is another anthropogenic activity. Urbanization leads to habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, and increased heat, island effects. Sustainable urban planning, green spaces, and eco-friendly infrastructure can reduce this issue, can solve these issues, alleviate these issues. Conservation initiatives and protected areas also help preserve ecosystems. Agriculture and agrochemical usage is another anthropogenic activity. Modern agriculture meets the food demands but often involves excessive agrochemical use, causing soil degradation, water pollution, and ecosystem disruption. Sustainable practices like organic farming, crop rotation, and integrated pest management can minimize these impacts. Now let us talk about climate change and greenhouse gas emissions, another important area in people, development and environment, this Unit 9. Human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation release greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane, driving climate change. Transitioning to renewable thing, transferring from the old methods to the new methods. Transitioning to renewable energy, enhancing efficiency and international cooperation are very, very important to limit global warming, to control global warming. Now, mitigation and adaptation. How to remove that? How to adapt to certain new methods? To address the environmental challenges, mitigation and adaptation strategies include promoting eco-friendly technologies, conservation efforts, pollution control, public awareness, and international agreements like the Paris Accord. Collaborative action is essential for sustainable development. Now let us ask some questions related to this topic. Which of the following is a direct anthropogenic activity impacting the environment? A very important one, deforestation. Deforestation involves human actions like clearing forests, directly affecting ecosystems and biodiversity. What is the primary source of anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions? That is nothing but carbon dioxide, CO2. CO2 emissions, carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel burning and deforestation are major contributors to climate change. Which activity is an example of indirect anthropogenic impact? That is agricultural runoff. Runoff carries pollutants like fertilizers into water bodies, indirectly harming ecosystems. Urbanization contributes to which environmental issues? That is noise pollution. Urbanization increases noise levels due to construction and traffic. Overfishing primarily impacts which environmental component? That is biosphere. Overfishing disrupts marine diversity within the biosphere, Earth. The depletion of the ozone layer is caused by which substance? That is chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs it is called, chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. CFCs release chlorine atoms that degrade ozone molecules. Which human activity contributes to soil degradation? That is mining. Mining disrupts the oil structure and leads to erosion. Dear friends, I am giving only the answer. This answer has been taken from 4 alternatives. So you have to read the stem and the alternatives. From the 4 alternatives, you have to see the answer. That way only it has been taken. Of course, there can be other human activities also. But maybe in this question there are 4 alternatives. Mining also is there. So that is the right answer. This is how you have to see. But then I am just avoiding all the alternatives. I am giving only the answer for the questions. Which human activity contributes to soil degradation? Mining. Mining disrupts the oil structure and leads to erosion. What is the significant cause of habitat loss and fragmentation? That is called urban sprawl. What does this mean? Urban expansion, in other words. Urban expansion converts natural habitats into developed areas. Acid rain affects which environmental components among the 4? Acid rain affects which environmental components? That is atmosphere and hydrosphere. Acid rain forms when atmospheric pollutants mix with the precipitation, affecting water bodies. So that's why it is atmosphere and hydrosphere. Which pollutant contributes to ocean acidification? Among the 4, which is the right one? Which pollutant contributes to ocean acidification? That is carbon dioxide. CO2 absorbed by oceans leads to increased acidity, harming marine life. All the creatures in the sea, harming marine life. What is eutrophication caused by? Among the 4, which is the right one? That is excessive nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. Excessive nutrients from agriculture cause algal blooms, and depleting oxygen in water. Which activity positively impacts the environment? Among the four, which should be the right one? That is reforestation. Planting trees restores the ecosystems and aids carbon sequestration, that is separation, carbon separation. What is a sustainable agricultural practice? That is a crop rotation. Among the four, that is the correct one. Crop rotation. Crop rotation improves soil fertility and reduces pest impact. Which energy source reduces greenhouse gas emissions? That is solar energy. Solar energy is renewable and produces no emissions. What is an international agreement addressing climate change? That is Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement focuses on global efforts to limit warming below 2 degrees centigrade. Then Kyoto Protocol. This Paris Agreement. This Kyoto Protocol, there are 4 important international conferences which are related to this environmental issues. First one, Kyoto Protocol in Japan. Adopted in 1997, the Kyoto Protocol is an international treaty aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions to combat global warming. Kyoto Kyoto Protocol it is called. It legally binds developed countries to specific emission reduction targets, recognizing their historical responsibility for climate change. Legally binds. The treaty introduced mechanisms like carbon trading and clean development projects to achieve its goals. Next one will be Paris Agreement. Adopted in 2015, the Paris Agreement is a global treaty to address climate change by limiting global warming to below 2 degrees centigrade, ideally 1.5 centigrade, above pre-industrial levels. It emphasizes normally determined contributions where countries set their own emission reduction targets, revising them every 5 years. The agreement also focuses on climate resilience, adaptation, and financial support for developing nations. The third one will be Montreal Protocol. Signed in 1987, the Montreal Protocol is a global agreement to phase out the substances that deplete the ozone layer, such as CFCs and HCFCs. It is considered one of the most successful environmental treaties, achieving near universal ratification and significant ozone layer recovery. It includes a mechanism for updating targets and financial aid for developing countries to transition to safer alternatives. The fourth one will be Rio Declaration, that is in France. Adopted in 1992 at the Earth Summit, the Rio Declaration outlines 27 principles for sustainable development. It emphasizes integrating environmental protection into development, the precautionary approach, and the polluter pays principles. It also highlights global cooperation and public participation in environmental decision making. Let us now discuss on the environmental issues. First one, air pollution. Air pollution is a pressing environmental issue with far-reaching consequences on the planet and its inhabitants. It involves harmful substances being introduced into the Earth's atmosphere, decaying air quality. These pollutants adversely affect human health, ecosystems, climate, and the environment's overall well-being. What are the causes of air pollution? First of all, industrial activities. Factories and power plants emit pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. That is, the very minute particle, the dusty particle, but then very minute. that is called particulate matter. Then transportation. Vehicles emit carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide and particulate matter, degrading urban air quality. Then agricultural activities. Use of fertilizers and pesticides releases ammonia. Livestock produce methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Then deforestation. Fewer trees mean reduced absorption of carbon dioxide, increasing greenhouse gas levels. Then waste disposal. Improper waste management releases harmful gases and particulate matter. What are the impacts of air pollution? Health effects. It causes air pollution causes respiratory diseases like asthma, COPD and lung cancer, affecting cardiovascular health. Then another impact of air pollution is environmental degradation. That is, it leads to acid rain harming soil, water bodies and vegetation. The third one will be climate change. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane contribute to global warming and extreme weather. Then economic impact. It increases healthcare costs, reduces labor productivity and damages infrastructure. What are the solutions to air pollution? Transition to clean energy. Use renewable sources like solar, wind and hydropower to reduce fossil fuel dependency. Then enhanced public transportation. Promote public transport to decrease the number of vehicles on roads as Delhi state government has done. Stringent regulations. Enforce strict emission regulations for industries and vehicles. Then promote sustainable agriculture. Encourage eco-friendly farming and reduce chemical usage. And also awareness and education, another important aspect. Educate the public about sustainable practices and the consequences of pollution. What is air pollution? Now some questions we will ask. The introduction of harmful substances into the atmosphere, decaying air quality. Harmful pollutants affect health, ecosystems and climate. What is a major pollutant from vehicles? Carbon monoxide. Incomplete fuel combustion, burning in vehicles produces this toxic gas. What agricultural activity emits? What agricultural activity emits methane? That is livestock farming. Methane is released during enteric fermentation in livestock. How does deforestation contribute to air pollution? It reduces carbon dioxide absorption. Fewer trees increase greenhouse gas levels. Which respiratory condition is caused by air pollution? That is asthma. Pollutants exacerbate respiratory issues or increase respiratory issues, problems. What environmental issue results from air pollution? That is acid rain. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides react with water vapor forming acid rain. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. How does air pollution contribute to climate change? It increases greenhouse gases. Gases like carbon dioxide trap heat, causing global warming. What economic effect does air pollution have? That is increased healthcare cost. Treating pollution related illnesses certainly is costly. What is a clean energy resource? That is solar energy. Renewable sources reduce fossil fuel dependency. How can public transportation reduce pollution? It lowers vehicle usage and so money is saved. Fewer vehicles mean fewer emissions. What is the role of regulations in reducing pollution? It limits harmful emissions. Strict laws ensure industries and vehicles adhere to standards. What is sustainable farming? That is eco-friendly agriculture. Sustainable farming reduces harmful chemical usage and pollution. Why is public awareness crucial? Public awareness promotes sustainable practices. Informed individuals can make eco-conscious choices. What is the benefit of renewable energy in pollution control? Renewable energy decreases reliance on fossil fuels. Cleaner energy sources reduce emissions. Then water pollution. Let us talk about water pollution now. Water, the source of life, is essential for all living organisms on earth. However, this precious resource is facing an unprecedented threat due to human activities. What are the causes of water pollution? Industrial and agricultural activities. Of course, that we know industrial and agricultural activities are major contributors to water pollution. The discharge of untreated or poorly treated industrial effluents, chemicals and fertilizers into water bodies contaminates them, leading to adverse environmental effects. Then urbanization and population growth. Rapid urbanization and population growth lead to increased waste generation and inadequate waste management systems. Improper disposal of household and industrial waste contaminates rivers, lakes and groundwater. Improper waste disposal. Disposal of solid and liquid waste into water bodies without appropriate treatment is a significant cause of water pollution. Plastic waste, sewage and non-biodegradable materials accumulate and degrade water quality. Then oil spills and marine transport. Accidental oil spills and discharge of oily waste from ships contaminate oceans and seas, harming marine life and ecosystems. Then mining activities. Mining operations also cause trouble. Then effects of water pollution. Health impacts. Contaminated water can cause waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid and dysentery, leading to illness and death, particularly in vulnerable populations. Ecological consequences. What are the ecological consequences because of water pollution? Water pollution disrupts aquatic ecosystems by depleting oxygen levels, killing aquatic plants, fish and other organisms. This imbalance has a cascading effect on the entire ecosystem. Economic loss. Industries such as tourism, fisheries and agriculture suffer due to polluted water, leading to financial repercussions and unemployment in affected areas. Loss of biodiversity. Water pollution significantly contributes to the decline of aquatic biodiversity. Many species are endangered or face extinction due to habitat degradation and pollution. What are the solutions to mitigate water pollution? Improved waste management. Implementing efficient waste management systems and encouraging proper waste disposal can significantly reduce water pollution. Strict environmental regulations. Government should enforce stringent environmental regulations to monitor and control industrial and agricultural activities. How to promote sustainable agriculture? Encouraging sustainable farming practices can help minimize agricultural runoff and its impact on water quality. Then investment in wastewater treatment. Increasing investment in wastewater treatment plants ensures that only treated water is released into water bodies, reducing pollution levels. Then public awareness and education. Educating the public about the importance of clean water and the consequences of water pollution can lead to behavioral changes and responsible practices. Some important questions we can ask. What is the primary cause of water pollution from industries? That is discharge of untreated effluents. Untreated effluents from industries contain harmful chemicals that contaminate water bodies. How does urbanization contribute to water pollution? That is contamination of water by untreated waste. Urbanization generates large amounts of waste, often improperly disposed of, leading to water contamination. Which activity is a major source of marine pollution? It is oil spills. Oil spills release petroleum products into marine environments, causing significant harm to ecosystems. What is one of the major health effects of water pollution? That is waterborne diseases. Contaminated water spreads diseases such as cholera and typhoid. What ecological impact does water pollution have? oxygen depletion in water. Pollutants deplete oxygen levels, harming aquatic organisms. How does water pollution affect biodiversity? It endangers aquatic species. Pollution degrades habitats, leading to species extinction. Which method is effective in managing waste? That is recycling and reusing. Recycling reduces waste at the source and prevents water pollution. What role does public education play in combating water pollution? It increases awareness about water conservation. Educated individuals are more likely to adopt responsible practices. What is an essential measure of reducing industrial water pollution? Strict regulation of effluent discharge. Regulations ensure industries treat effluents before releasing them into water bodies. How can agriculture be made sustainable to reduce water pollution? By using organic fertilizers. Organic farming practices minimize chemical runoff into water bodies. What is eutrophication in the context of water pollution? The excessive growth of algae due to nutrient enrichment. Eutrophication occurs when water bodies become enriched with nutrients, leading to the overgrowth of algae and aquatic plants, disrupting the ecosystem. Which water pollution source involves the discharge of petroleum products? Oil spills. Oil spills release petroleum products into water bodies, causing environmental harm. How does urbanization contribute to water pollution? Increased waste generation. Rapid urbanization increases waste production and improper waste disposal, contaminating water bodies. What are the economic consequences of water pollution? Loss in tourism and fisheries. Polluted water affects industries like tourism, fisheries, and agriculture, leading to economic losses. Which government action can help control water pollution? Enforcing environmental regulations. Stringent regulations ensure industries and agriculture follow pollution control measures. Now let us talk about soil pollution. Soil is a critical part of Earth's ecosystem, supporting agriculture, forestry, and biodiversity. However, soil pollution caused by harmful substances affects its quality and fertility, posing risk to the environment, human health, and biodiversity. What are the causes of soil pollution? Industrial activities. Toxic chemicals and heavy metals from industrial waste contaminate soil and water bodies. Then agricultural practices. Excessive use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers disrupts soil health. Then waste disposal. Improper disposal of solid and hazardous waste contaminates soil in landfills. Improper disposal of solid and hazardous waste contaminates soil in landfills. Mining activities. Mining releases heavy metals and pollutants that degrade soil quality. Urbanization. Construction and urban runoff introduce pollutants into the soil. Effects of soil pollution. The agricultural productivity. Soil pollution reduces fertility, lowers crop yield, and contaminates food. These are all bad effects of soil pollution. Health hazards. Polluted soil leads to health issues like cancer and respiratory disorders. Biodiversity loss. Polluted soil harms soil organisms and disrupts ecosystems. Water contamination. Pollutants leach into water bodies, affecting aquatic life and drinking water. Climate change. Contaminated soil may release carbon dioxide, worsening global warming. How to prevent and mitigate this issue? Proper waste management. Recycling and safe disposal reduce pollution. Sustainable agriculture. Practices like crop rotation and organic farming minimize chemical use. Industrial regulations. Enforcing environmental standards prevents industrial contamination. Environmental education. Raising awareness helps communities adopt a responsible behavior. Soil remediation. Techniques like bioremediation restore polluted soils. So soil pollution demands immediate action to preserve soil health for future generations and ensure a sustainable environment. What is soil pollution? Some questions we can ask. Contamination of soil with harmful substances. It reduces fertility and impacts human health and biodiversity. Which industrial activity contributes to soil pollution? Improper disposal of industrial waste. Improper disposal of industrial waste releases toxic chemicals and heavy metals into the soil. How do pesticides cause soil pollution? Pesticides accumulate in soil over time, disrupting natural balance. It affects the soil health and ecosystems. What is the consequence of improper waste disposal? Soil contamination from hazardous substances. Dump sites leak toxins threatening health and environment. How does mining affect the soil? Mining releases pollutants that degrade soil quality. Long-term contamination and impacts the ecosystems. What is the health effect of soil pollution? It causes cancer and respiratory issues. Pollutants in crops and air affect human health. How does soil pollution impact agriculture? Soil pollution reduces crop yield and quality. Contaminated soil disrupts plant growth and food safety. What is biodiversity loss in soil pollution? That is decline in soil organisms. Polluted soil harms earthworms, bacteria and fungi. Which pollutant contaminates soil through urban runoff? Pollutants from roads and construction. Urbanization introduces harmful substances into soil. What is a sustainable agricultural practice to prevent soil pollution? That is organic farming. Organic farming reduces chemical use, maintaining soil health. What role does recycling play in soil pollution prevention? That is, recycling reduces waste at source. Proper disposal prevents contamination. How does soil pollution affect climate change? Soil pollution releases stored carbon dioxide. Contaminated soils reduce carbon sequestration, that is separation. Which global treaty addresses the pollutants affecting soil? That is Stockholm Convention. Stockholm Convention aims to control persistent organic pollutants. Now, dear friends, with this we end. Now let us proceed with the other topics in the next video, because it seems to be very long and you may not get bored. For that reason, let us stop with this, and then other pollution aspects we will be talking about in another video. With that we will be ending, because this the longest unit as far as unit 1 is concerned. So let us split it into 2 and then talk about it. Kindly give your subscription, subscribe all these videos and like and comment so that my video gets some value. Thank you for your support so far. You have supported me a lot, and so many of you have watched my videos. I am sure you will be profiting a lot out of this. I am at your disposal for cracking NET and any other competitive exam. God bless you abundantly.